Like, you're a guy who likes mindset and beliefs. So am I. I really like that part, and I believe everything external is a reflection of internal. So I want to go through some of the biggest ideas and insights that I've learned from you and your content. Number one, you mentioned that you treat your body like a Ferrari.
Yeah.
And I love that because I was reading a quote few weeks ago, a few months ago, by Warren Buffett, and he was saying how you can get your dream car, and but there's one catch, and that dream car needs to last a lifetime. And he said, how do you act with that car? You take care of it, you maintain it, you get it repaired, you get it fixed, you drive it every day carefully so it's always engine warmed up, you know. And in this life, we get one body that needs to survive a lifetime. But then we treat it badly. We put junk food in it. We don't exercise it. We don't do that. So what's your way of thinking about that?
So let's start with the car analogy that you said. The problem is when you get your dream car. So let's say your dream car is a Ferrari. You work your whole life and you spend a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of dedication, and then you get your dream car. Or if you're a woman right now, you're listening, you like houses, you like whatever, and it's not car. Imagine that we're talking about the item, material thing that you want for years. You've been dreaming about it. So when you get it, there was some sacrifice for you in order to get this item. The problem with the body is that it was given to you. So you treat it like trash because it was free. And that's what happened in this world. When things are free, people don't listen. They don't take care of it. They don't care. It's like, it's nothing. It's given to me. And that's what happened with your body. Your parents made you. Your mom sacrificed 9 months of her life. And I can tell you it's a sacrifice because my wife is pregnant right now, and it's like the body go through change. It's not comfortable. It's like you're always swollen from food. It's like you're making a human, you know what I mean? So your body was given to you, and then you take it for granted. And a lot of us, not only that we take it for granted, but a lot of us have perfect body. We have 2 legs, 2 arms, we have vision, we have we take everything for granted. But if I would start to remove 1 arms, 1 leg, eyesights, earring, like anything, you would start maybe to realize how good you have it. So you would stop trashing your body with food, with alcohol, with all the thing. Because yes, it needs to last forever. But because you start super healthy, you never knew the struggle of being sick. For most of people, some people did. And that's why they take care more of other people. But most of us, we just born and we're healthy and everything is good. So we just go in life and we don't take care of it. And we don't realize the impact that having a healthy body has, not only on money making, on relationship, on everything, on our happiness level, on our hormones. And we also don't realize that at 50 years old nowadays, you only done half of your life. So if you start being ultra sick because you acted like shit when you were young for the first 50 years, drinking, doing all those bad behavior, you're going to need to deal with a sick body for 50 years. And that's a curse that a lot of people have and they don't realize. Like a lot of people, it's a ticking bomb and they just don't know.
For someone who is listening to this, what are 5 key things that they can start doing right now to take care of their health? Like non-negotiables, foundation steps.
So stop drinking. That would be the first one. If you don't want to stop drinking, start slowing down. Like drink is poison. There's no benefit to your life. Drinking, that's zero benefit. Let's put it out there. Not only in frequency, but in your body and everything. It trashes you, okay? So second thing is be mindful of the food that you put in your body. So that goes like fast food. all that stuff. Like try to, if you can afford it, try to go with grass fed. If you eat meat, like if you eat some stuff, the highest quality. I would say the third thing is sugar. Cut every sugar, every processed food, try to cut it as much as possible. I mean, we're humans, so it's like if you want to have like once in a while a little restaurant or a little dessert or a little this, yeah, go ahead. Like I believe in enjoying life too, balance. But the thing is, most of us, it's an everyday thing that we trash our body without without thinking about it. The fourth thing I would say is exercise. Like you need to exercise. Your body is movement. Your body is energy. So training, yoga, meditation, like all those things that you're going to do, breath work, like exercise and taking care of your body with all those modality would be 4 and 5. It's like you need to take care of your mind, your hormones. Like, so if you don't eat enough or you're not able to eat everything you could, yeah, you can supplements. But I would start taking care of my body like you said, like it's a Ferrari, and that you're going to drive that car for the rest of your life. So that's the only car you get. Like once it's all going to be broken, it's too late, man. Like that's the sad part. It's like you can change it. And one last thing I can add is stop drinking so much coffee. Like people hear like there is a study that coffee is good and blah, blah, blah. So coffee, the beans are good, right? Like the caffeine is not good. Like coffee, it's like tea, it's an herb. So there's benefit in the beans. The problem is all those cheap coffee, they're full of mold, they're full of different chemical. And same thing when people drink decaf, like you need to take the Swiss water decaf, not the chemical decaf. And then people drink caffeine like it's nothing. They don't think about the consequences, but caffeine stress your nervous system, stress your hormones, put you in a better brainwave. Like it's a lot of consequences that come with drinking coffee, and it affects your sleep because it has a period. I did a podcast with Dr. Sleep, or my friend, and just coffee has 12-hour of lifespan for his half-life. That's just for his half-life. So if you take a coffee at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 p.m., bro, it's in your system up to 6 in the morning, and that's a lot of people do it. My dad is the first one, bro. I try to tell him so many times, bro. He wakes up at night at 1 a.m. and then he goes and he drink a coffee, smoke a cigarette, and go back to bed. And there's a lot of impact on your health doing that, like drinking coffee all the time, taking espresso at night. I used to do it until I started doing research. And now I don't really drink any coffee, ever. Like once in a while, I'm going to have a coffee. And if you want to have a coffee, it's before 12 and it needs to be an hour and a half that you're up. So like when I wake up before the podcast, I'd say it's morning time still. So I fill this bottle of water, and in this specific bottle, I'm going to have, I put some powder that has some nutrients, some electrolytes, some different stuff just to wake up my body the right way. If for some reason when you wake up, like you didn't have water hydration for hours, so you don't want to stress your body with something that will dehydrate it and stress your nervous system. So that would be kind of the 5-6 thing that people should start doing now.
Talk to me about dairy, because I heard you speaking about this on a podcast, and something that I want to learn more about because I've never really heard much research and things about dairy. Yeah.
Okay, so let's make it clear that dairy in America, it's not good for you. Okay, America is trash. Let's start like that. There's 1,500 chemicals that are not allowed in Europe and other places that are allowed in America. We put corn syrup, we put all those natural flavor. Natural flavor can be 1,000 different ingredients. Means nothing. There's nothing natural. They can put organic on any product that they want. They can do whatever they want. So also the milk can have a lot of blood in it. There's a lot of things that are not supposed to be in our food, like corn, organic corn. What is organic corn? Corn is genetically modified at the base. How can it be organic? So you have to understand that the food is owned by the corporation that dictate the laws, that dictate the label. there's very interesting video that you can look at. Some people that left marketing company for those company that expose them and that show you all the label, what they mean and stuff like that, and what's the regulation, and it's not good. That's why a lot of people will travel to Europe and they will eat. Like, think about Italy. Pizza, pasta, dairy, a lot of lasagna, like, and people are healthy and fit and everybody's living fucking long. Why? Because their food is very different quality. Their milk, I don't know the exact word. I think it's pasteurized and a lot of stuff like that. Like, their milk is better. Like, the dairy that they have is better. The way that they treat it. In America, it's just everything is bad. So I tend to avoid all dairy. Or if you want to have butter, you can take grass-fed butter. Or if you want to have like let's say you really need your Philadelphia, you really need your cream cheese, take grass-fed cream cheese. Like, if you really want to drink all those things, make sure that you take like the best of the best, because it's I don't think it's good. Based on my knowledge, and I've been doing this for 15 years, biohacking, health coaching, dairy will affect you. And there's a lot of consequences to it. There's not so much benefit for your health to drink that stuff, like especially milk. Like, they used to promote milk because it was a cheap product, and they promoted like all calcium for your bone. This is all bullshit. This is all marketing. Like, this doesn't exist, and it's been proven that it was wrong and false. Bro, the system will lie to you, so you consume whatever they tell you to consume, so they make money, and they don't care about the consequence because you're gonna pay for your health care. That's the reality. You're going to pay. You're sick, you pay. So you're a client of the system. If your car never go to the repair, they don't make money. You know what I mean? But if your car is always on repair and every day, every week, you need to put meds in it and you need to put special product and you need to do this, you're making a lot of goddamn money.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that because, as you said, growing up, you'd always hear calcium has protein, calcium has this, or milk has this, and so you drink it. I don't drink it as much, I think, naturally, but not that I've been cautious with. I think I'll stop being cautious now.
Yeah, it's like, why would you drink? Like, what is milk at the base? Milk is mammal, like the cow. What is the purpose of the milk? It's to take the baby cow that is 30 pounds and breed it into a big cow that's going to work like 400, 500 pounds. I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? It's would you drink breastfeeding milk? Nah. Like, that's what you're drinking from the cow. It's the breastfeeding milk. So I don't think it has its place. And yeah, cheese is good. We all gonna say cheese is good, yeah, because it affects the same receptor in your brain as heroin. Like, heroin hit the same pleasure receptor as melted cheese. That's why pizza, when you think about pizza, you're like, oh, like, yeah, because it's a chemical reaction in your brain. Like, that's what it is. They know it. And if you want to do it, then make sure it's cleaner. Make sure it. There's also the process that they do. So yeah, I would say technically, in most case scenario, it's not good for you.
And so chemically, what's different with the cheese in the pizza in most places and the cheese in the pizza in somewhere like Italy?
Yeah, it's gonna be like more like fresh mozzarella, blah blah blah. Here it's like very genetically modified. Like, it's like same thing. The orange cheese. It's not orange. They put a color in to make it orange. Actually gray and brown when it's out. Like, a lot of, like, you wouldn't eat that, but they make it appealing. Like, there's a lot of things like that happen in the food industry. Like, it's just, I would advise that you do your own research. And another thing is, like, those are general advice. The thing with food and the body is everybody kind of react differently. Some people can't tolerate nightshade. Some people really can't tolerate dairy. Some people, it's like I would just say that in general rule, it's not the best food for you. So why take it? And if you want to take it, like I said, use it as Like, if I'm going to have dairy now, it's, oh, I go to the restaurant once a week, once every second week, and I want to try a dessert. I'm like, I want to try this place. Okay, let's have a tiramisu. Let's have a cake. But like once a week, okay. Like, the problem is people abuse, you know?
Second thing, you had a podcast with Pani Sabet, I think.
Oh, okay, Penny, yeah.
And it was interesting her smoking addiction and how it was justified. And it reminded me of a quote that said, I think it's Alex Hormozy. It said, there are some beliefs that are so deep that even when we're questioning our beliefs, we never question them.
So two things about, so people don't want to admit what they do. And like I said, they sometimes don't know where it's coming from. So the conscious mind would be this circle. The subconscious mind is everything that is around. Subconscious mind is 95% of your, dictate your behavior. So the thing is, it will protect you for survival. So if it's doing some behavior and then you want to ask conscious question about it, the subconscious mind will try to block the information because it doesn't want to change. It's like, hey, we're doing this. Just don't ask question about it. It's already automated. The smoking cigarette industry, they know one thing, okay? The most powerful thing in the world to change your mood and to relax you is breathing, right? So, feels so much better, right? So what is cigarette? What is vaping? Basically breath work. But people don't realize that they're doing breath work. And they're not doing breath work. They're savaging their body with full of chemical. And then nicotine. Nicotine can be good for the body if it's used a certain way and stuff like that. But the whole thing is killing your body. But people get addicted to the feeling because it's just basically breathing. And if you do breath work like that and you go like a big inhale, and another thing that for panic attack and anxiety, which the society has a lot of anxiety nowadays, there's a breathing pattern that is called a straw breathing, which is doing this with your lips. That's why people, when they have panic attack, they say, breathe in a bag. Because the bag doesn't allow you to be fully open. So what does a cigarette look like? Like a straw breathing. So it calms your anxiety. That's why people are addicted to it. It's literally breath work. That's what it is. It's you're breathing a big inhale, like a straw breathing, and then you're being a big sigh to let it out. And then they're like, oh, I feel so good. Yeah, you could do without the cigarette. But the thing is, it's a pattern. They associated the cigarette and the movement with the feeling and the response and what it gives them in their brain and the reaction. So they could just use a straw instead of like a cigarette. They would get the same benefit. But yeah, she had an addiction to it, and people will justify their addiction like it's okay, it's not so bad, blah, blah, blah. Like vaping is so bad. For men, it lower your testosterone and affect your, it's full of chemical. There's vape that explode. There's vape that give throat cancer. Same as cigarette. Like there's nothing in that, all those things that are good for the body. And if you can't stop, man, man or woman, you gotta look yourself in the mirror. Like stop sabotaging your body. Stop being a pussy. What are you waiting for? That you get throat cancer to think about that shit? And be like, oh, now I'm stuck with a tube in my throat for the rest of my life.
I always think, why smoke? I get the breath work and calming out of it, but it's just because even if you ever try smoking a cigarette, you cough at first. So why continue? Why, like, it just doesn't make sense.
Because the body get addicted to the substance, and then it's like coffee. So coffee is not good. Like, think about your first sip of coffee. I remember the first time I drink coffee, bro, I was like 16 or 17, or maybe a little earlier. Like I was working at a factory and we needed to be up at 6 in the morning. Bro, I was not good at being up at 6 in the morning. And then everybody working at the factory, it was a metal factory, and we were doing metal for cars and building and stuff. So you needed to be aware because you're working with big machine and laser technology and this and that. Bro, everybody's drinking coffee in the morning. And then I'm like, well, maybe I should start this. So I'm drinking coffee. I'm like, well, what is that? And then I put sugar and then and half milk, half coffee. And I'm, oh, that's not so bad. And then I get what I think is an alertness, but coffee doesn't wake you up. We can talk about it later, but coffee doesn't wake you up. Let's put it there. It just prevent your receptor from feeling tired. That's why you get a crash after. So you're tired, you drink this, you feel like, oh shit, and then when you crash, you're like, I'm gonna get another coffee. But when you drink coffee, and you probably know people, they put so much sugar in milk. That's why Starbucks is so popular, because coffee technically doesn't taste good. Now I like the taste of coffee because I've been drinking it for so long that I could take a black coffee and I'm good with it. You know what I mean? But the thing is, there's a study also proved that bees and all those animal, like we can call them animal, like insect, they are more attracted to plants with caffeine because of the thing. It's activate receptor in our brain that makes us addicted. So same with the nicotine, same with the cigarette. It's not because it tastes good. It's just it's some receptor in your brain, and you're not aware that you're being manipulated. And it's the same with everything. It's like you started, it wasn't tasting good, but they just keep smoking, and then they're like, oh, this is so good. And that's how it is.
How does that concept of peer pressure come in? Because I even remember back when I first started drinking coffee, it's just, you hear people drink coffee, you see people drink coffee, and you taste it and it tastes horrible, and you just like, well, everyone else is drinking it, just put sugar, put milk, drink it, continue drinking it. And then even with cigarettes, most people who have friends that smoke start smoking that way. And I find everything was based on principle. So if you have principles that don't permit you to smoke, that you actually hold on to, if you don't hold on to a principle, it's not a principle.
So it's your identity. So if you identify as someone that doesn't smoke, doesn't do those things, I identify as someone that take care of my body. So every action I'll take, it will be inclined to that. Some people identify and have, we got belief and human needs. And that's a few things that I teach in, like, you got value, needs, and belief, right? Those are all at the top, and they dictate your behaviors. So if you want to change your life, you need to change your identity. But the thing is, and your identity is what is all those things, and they dictate your action. So those people, they just have different belief, different identity. And yes, there's peer pressure. So if you don't react to peer pressure, then it won't be as bad, because the biggest peer pressure is not for coffee, it's not for smoking. Honestly, the biggest peer pressure in society is for alcohol. It's killing you, and they want you to have it everywhere. The restaurant, oh, you're not drinking? How come you're not drinking? Are you an alcoholic? And it's like, oh, bro, take a shot. And then you go somewhere, just take a little drink. And people are going to try to force down your throat something that's killing you when you say, I'm not drinking. And at the beginning, it's going to feel awkward to say no. And then you just say no all the time. And people almost get offended because it puts them like they're the bad guy. Like, oh, I'm drinking. Maybe I shouldn't. And then they start like kind of hating on you for it. Like, oh yeah, you do it for your abs. Yeah, we know Mike is in shape, doesn't drink. No, bro, I love my brain. That's what I love, man. Like, I love my brain. If you don't love your brain, that's good. Go trash yourself, and at 70, 50, 60, you'll have Alzheimer, you'll have brain tumor, and I'll be rolling up to I'm 110, 120. Don't worry for me. Like, the thing is, alcohol that does nothing good for you, and it's a peer pressure, and all those peer pressure is just saying no. Like, you have to respect yourself. Like you say, it's like you put those boundaries. When I was 24, I stopped drinking. Like right after that, 24, 25, I was in a toxic relationship, and when I ended the relationship, I was like, as of now, I'm gonna put all those boundaries on my life, and nobody will be able to dictate what I do and what I say. Nobody. You're president, I don't care. You're nobody, I don't care. I'm meeting someone that I'm a fan of, I don't care. I'm gonna say no, and that's it. You know what I mean? It's like you said, you can call them principle, you can call them boundaries, you can call them however you want. It's rules in your life that, hey, I'm not crossing this. And once you identify with those rules and it becomes your identity, that's one thing that James Clear in the book Habits, Atomic Habits, says, like, it's not I'm trying to quit smoking, I'm trying to stop. I'm like, you drink? Nah, I'm not a drinker. You smoke? Nah, I'm not a smoker. And you repeat it a few times, that your brain will start being that identity, and then it will become a subconscious to say no. So now for me, it's harder to say yes for a drink than it is to say no. So sometimes it's like, sometime once or twice a year or thing like that, I'll be like, hey, I want a glass of red wine. I like wine. So I do it as an occasion. I want to taste the bottle. I want to have it just a little drink. I'm not going to get wasted. I'm going to drink one. And I'm like if I would go to Italy right now and I would go in a place where they make wine, and I would taste it, I don't mind the experience. But I'm not going to go every day drinking wine, drinking stuff. Like, we don't buy alcohol. My girlfriend doesn't drink either. Like, you have to start saying no. And now when everybody's like, oh, are you drinking? No. Like, friend invited me yesterday. Hey, we're going to a yacht party. It's going to be cool. Cool, I'll be coming. I'm not drinking. Like, because he's like, come, we take a drink. I'm like, bro, I'm not drinking, but we can come say hi. Like, and I don't let anybody influence me. Not for a business opportunity, not for nothing. Like, if I don't want to drink, bro, I don't drink. If I don't want to smoke, I don't smoke. And people need to start associating with those and not let other people influence them.
What I found really useful in not just peer pressure, but just everything, is finding those values that I have. Like, for example, I have four major values. I have wisdom, justice, temperance, courage, stoic virtues, if you're familiar with those. And anytime or in any circumstance or any action I filter through those, will it violate any of those? So thinking negative thoughts and entering negative loopholes is a violation of temperance, self-control, because I'm not controlling myself. Is this a violation of justice? So I run every action through those four values, and I found that just helps a lot, because if something just doesn't align with my principles, then it just doesn't align with my principles, and I don't do it.
Yeah, I feel like the thing is, every man needs what I call the 3P. It's purpose, passion, and profit. Okay? That's what you need. And how you're going to dictate, how you're going to have that after 32 years, I realized that it's with what I call the VIP way of life. So like I said, the V is for value, need, and belief. The I is for identity creation, and the P is for purpose. So all your value system, your needs, like for me, honesty is important. Like love, respect, like all those things that I value for me are important. And yeah, like you said, if you value honesty, and it's one of the major things, you can't go and crook people. Like, it's just not your value. I cannot go and take your money. And for me, it's just not a way of living. I see a bunch of coach. I see they're lying. I see they're promising stuff that they can't do. It's all a lie. A lot of people doing it. They were doing it in the fitness industry. I see it in the coaching industry. You see it everywhere. For me, I just can't do it. It's not how I function. Like cheating on my wife wouldn't be for her. Like, yeah, of course, it's like you don't cheat on the person. But for me, I couldn't live with myself. Like, because my identity is honesty. Like, I want to be honest. I want to be a good person. So, like you said, once you choose, and you can change them anytime, but once you choose those core belief and value and all that thing that will mold your personality and your subconscious behavior, then you can go on choosing your belief system. your purpose, and then your whole life will align with that type of stuff. That's why, like, David Goggin, the way that he lives his life is based on his value, his needs, his belief, and then it becomes an identity and a mission. And now it's like, I'm the toughest motherfucker on earth, and I'm doing this. I'm not stopping. And the mind is stronger than anything. Once it's a belief, once it's an identity, bro, the guy just fucking like do whatever he tells his body to do. And it's not human. Like, but it became an identity. So whatever he tells the body will do. You know what I mean? So that's how strong it is. Once it's inside of you, you will live your whole life based on that.
I've been recently started some Shaolin Kung Fu practice, and it's really interesting because the whole concept behind Shaolin is putting yourself through pain and just control over the mind and controlling that pain. And one thing that I learned is the first time that you feel that pain, it hurts. But then as you get through it, as you continue, you get used to it, you overcome it, and then it's nothing. And then it's hard, it still hurts, but you just manage and you go through, you're used to it. Like there's an exercise of, I don't know if you've seen it, but they get sticks or rocks and just hit their hands on it. And it hurts, and you do it again, you do it again, you do it again, you do it again, and just continue. And it's really interesting. And I feel my body through pain a lot. So from a pain side, it wasn't that hard, but just seeing the mentality and seeing the whole focus was really eye-opening, and I'm still doing it, still going through. So
yeah. So if you see, like, for me, like, I understand this concept, but because part of my identity is taking care of my body, I wouldn't do that thing, because I understand that hitting your hand against some stuff will create, it depends how you do it. It can either reinforce it or it can create damage. And then I don't want to damage my hand. I don't want to have like problem with my hands in the future. So like I said, you can do whatever you want. It just has to be part of what you value and your identity.
Taking time for daily self-reflection. How do you do that in your day?
So you can start in the morning. I have the gratitude journal. So I start like the day with some gratitude practice, kind of like focus on what's good in my life. Like a lot of time we're so inclined, and I'm no different. Like your mind is always negative. You have that voice, the insane mind, the monkey mind, however you want to call it, is always saying things that are not really necessary. Like first thing when you see it's raining outside, fuck, it's raining. It's like, oh, it's raining again. But it's like, what if you change your perception in your mind and you're like, wow, that's a beautiful day outside. Like, I mean, the grass needs it. Like, it's good. Like, I used to be negative about the weather, negative about everything, negative. Oh, I'm stuck in traffic. I'm this, I'm that. And then when you start changing your perception and you start focusing on what's good, and it's like, let's say I wake up, oh, it's a beautiful day outside. I'm grateful that I'm here. I'm grateful for whatever you want to be grateful. It could be for your house, for your loved one, for my dog, for the cuddle, for whatever. It can be material thing, it can be emotional thing, it can be. But when you start your day being grateful, it helps to see that the glass is half full, not half empty. So that's a good way to do it. And then you can reflect at the end of the day on how was your day, and are you proud of yourself, and did you accomplish anything? So that's a way of doing it. It's like, could I have done better? And if yes, how and why? You know what I mean? Like, it's always a question of what could I improve if there was anything to improve, or did I do my best today? And not every day is going to be the best you can do, but you want to try to do the best for every day.
Have you read Meditations by Marcus Aurelius?
No.
It's an amazing book. Fantastic book. It's a Roman emperor who, it wasn't meant to be published. It's just his personal journal. And the way he wrote it, it's just him giving advice and commenting on himself and things that he did and things that he's reminding himself, and it's just amazing the way he wrote it. Some of the insights that I've read that book 6 times, and I have pretty much the whole book just highlighted because I have so many highlights gone through. It's amazing. I recommend that book to everyone. And so the way I do my self-reflection is similar in the sense that I do it in the morning, at night, and then I have just normal notepad on my phones. If during the day something comes up, I just write it there, and then I can transfer it to the journal later on when I'm back home. And what I do is I just reflect and forward thinking. So in the morning, it's like preparing for the day. So daily reminders: don't do this, do this, do this, do this, and it's things mental. It's mental focus. So it's not just like don't eat junk food. No, it's not things like that, but things like do not compromise your principles. Remember what you stand for. Remember what you represent. Remember what you identify as, and keep true to those. Because if you fail to keep the promise that you keep to yourself, then which promise do you make actually matters? Because if you can't even keep commitments to yourself, that's it. And so just things like that, gratitude, and then just thoughts, reminders, and that sort of thing, and also reflections on the day at night. I do that, and I've just found amazing.
Self-reflecting is a key. Like the thing also, it's like I love when you say like keep your promise to yourself. The thing is, for example, let's say you're a parent right now, right? And you want your kid to do his bed. The thing is, when my parents were telling me to do my bed, I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, Mom, it's a waste of time, because why would I do my bed if I'm going to undo it to go to bed at night? So every day I'm doing something that is actually a waste of my time, because I don't really care that it looks messy. I'm just going to go back in bed and that's it, right? But if you explain them the reason behind, which my parent, it was probably just do your bed because it looked nice, right? But keeping those small promises to yourself. So if you tell yourself you're going to wake up at a certain time, do it. If you tell yourself that you're going to make your bed, do it. The thing with making your bed is that you start your day with a victory. It's a very quick victory that costs nothing, that demands very little effort. You place your bed, you do your bed, and then you feel good. It's like making order. Like, okay, you're cleaning stuff. So all those little things that you promise yourself, you're going to keep your promise to yourself. Like that's the thing that's the most important. People are like, I'm going to stop smoking, and then they don't. Not going to drink coffee, and then they don't. I'm going to wake up at 6, and then they don't. And they keep lying to themselves every day, all day. And like you said, it's not only that you're lying to yourself, it's now when you say you're going to do something, your mind is just like, yeah, of course, bro. Like everything else. Like, and then when you're telling people that you're not going to do things, you don't really care because you're already lying to yourself. So it's like your identity is, I'm a liar. Like, it doesn't matter that I said to that friend that I'm going to go there, or it doesn't matter that I told the girl that I'm not going to cheat. Like, no big deal. Like, I'm already cheating left and right on myself. So that's how the brain functions. And people don't understand that the subconscious dictate your patterns. So when you keep lying to yourself for all the small thing, you're not providing victory, you're not doing all those little things, it will transcend in the rest of your life.
I've just found that really useful, and keeping it, and that type of thing just happens through reflection. Like, there are things like even that thought and that type of thing that if I wasn't reflecting, if I wasn't doing that journaling, doing that writing, I wouldn't normally think about that. And it's interesting how you can learn a lot just from yourself and just thinking. Because I feel a lot of times people feel you have to speak to someone new to learn. You have to talk to new people, meet, and you do. You do learn, but that's not the only way, because I feel there's a lot of knowledge and wisdom and whatever that you have already within yourself that you just need to reflect on and think about and connect new pathways, connect new dots in your head, and you can learn a lot more by just thinking and reflecting.
Yeah, a lot of people are scared to be alone with themselves. Like, a lot of people are scared to talk to themselves. Like, one of the hardest thing that you can do, and it's one of the practice I'll go do very soon. It just, for time and stuff this year, it just didn't align, but it's called the 4 days in the dark, and it's yourself 4 days silent in the dark. Like, and then your mind, now you'll go see the depth of your mind. It's like, because the voice at some point, you'll have to quiet it. You'll have to do something. If you spend like 4 days, like not talking, not seeing nobody, just being with yourself, you'll get to know yourself better. Like, and it might scare you at the beginning. And it's like a lot of people can't even spend an hour with themselves. Like, a lot of people, and I used to be like that. Like, that's why I always had girls at my place. I was addicted to sex. It's like, because you don't want to be alone, because when you're alone, your mind is telling you stuff that you don't like, that you don't want to hear. So when you actually, that's what I did when I was 25 up to 30 something, and I still do, is I spent a lot of time alone. A lot. Like, it's like the majority of my day was alone, and reading and reflecting and asking myself, like, who are you? What do you value? What does your soul want? Like, that's all the necessary question. And that comes down to the first P, it's purpose, right? Because for the majority of my life, I was focused on, like, up to 25 years old, like up to my bankruptcy, I was focused on the third one, which is profit. Profit comes at the end. Like, it's cool, money is everywhere, everybody want to make money, but that's the problem. People they're not passionate about their life, and they don't have any purpose. And especially for men, we need a mission, we need a purpose, we need something to be compelled to do, like a compelling future. So if you're only chasing profit, you're going to be miserable no matter the amount of money. And I have a friend of mine that made $70 million with his company, and he almost suicide, And I have another friend that I met, he got an offer for 30 million for his company, and he was about to suicide. Like, the thing is, we have this grand idea that money will solve all our problems, but it doesn't happen. Like, you still have to live with yourself every day. You still have to be alone. No matter the amount of money that you have, at some point of the day, you'll be alone with that motherfucker. That motherfucker will keep saying shit and talking shit and let you know how miserable you are, no matter the amount of money. You'll just be miserable in a bigger house. So the thing is, you got to fix yourself first. And you're not broken. You have pattern. You have things. It's like, when I say fix, it's just healing. It's just becoming the person you want to become. And now I understood that purpose, passion, and then profit. You have to do things because you're passionate about it, because you have a mission. Because once you're on a mission, it's not a question or am I going to do it? It's when is it going to happen? You know what I mean? Like, and every man that accomplished something big, good or bad, were on a mission. You can think about all the big emperor like Julius Caesar, Aurelian Marcus, Alexander the Great, Hitler. No matter who you want to name, don't say that they all did good things, but they all had a mission, a purpose, and nothing could stand in their way. So imagine if your mission could be something positive, could be something great, could be something like helping people, could be something like amazing that you're proud of and that you're feeling good. And while you're doing it, you're making money.
I love that, because I also really believe in playing the long game and looking at long term. And when it comes to long term, you really have to think about those first two things, those passion and purpose, because that's what you really need. If you don't have a purpose, there's no reason for anything. And then you need passion to keep you. I feel it's like purpose purpose is the train itself, and then passion is the fuel in the train, and the train track is profit. Because if you don't have purpose, then nothing else matters. If you don't have a train, nothing else matters. If you have a train but you aren't making any money with it, you can only go a limited way because it won't sustain. And so, but if you don't have any fuel, if you don't have any passion, the train won't move, no matter how far that profit goes, how far those tracks go. So I like to look at it that way. And what you were saying about people staying by themselves, I think it's also related to that thing that you said earlier about C's and O's. Having C's, some people like C's, some people like O's, some people incomplete, some people complete. And the fact that a lot of people don't want to be alone because they're not, like, if you think of yourself as two people, like the external you and the internal you, and internally, when you're alone, you just beat yourself up. You just insult yourself. You criticize yourself. You hate yourself. You put yourself down. You wouldn't want to spend time with someone like that. But if you're someone that's supportive, that you care, that you push, you motivate, whatever, you reflect, you improve, you think of insights, think of ideas, you learn, brainstorm, you would want to be with that type of person. So I feel it comes down to changing from a C into an O in order to, and just finding comfort being alone. And I don't know if I will call myself complete, but I've found that really, really useful in terms of just being comfortable alone. Like I'm perfectly fine alone, and that's because I support myself. I do things like reflection. I went for dinner at a fancy restaurant by myself for no real reason, and I just support myself in that type of thing. And I learn, I brainstorm, I do a lot of work, and just that type of thing. And for that reason, I'm comfortable spending time with myself. If I was someone who I hate myself, I would criticize myself, I'd just put myself down, I wouldn't want to be with myself. And so I'd want to distract myself, go to a bar, go to wherever, go party, and I just don't want to be alone because I'll be a C in that case.
Yeah, I mean, you have to love spending time with yourself. It's like a lot of people, they don't want to go eat at the restaurant alone. They don't want to go to the movie alone, like the theater and stuff, because they're afraid of being judged. But like, it's okay. Like, you can spend time alone with yourself. You can go to the restaurant alone. You can go to the movie alone. It's not like you're really talking to your friend in the movie anyway. And when you're alone at the restaurant, you can bring a notepad. It's like, it's a moment that you treat yourself, that like you're grateful for what you accomplish. You go, you eat, like you enjoy. Yes, it's fun to go with friends, but you got to do it alone too. And it's just that people are afraid of being judged. Like, going alone, it's like if society made it weird, like, oh, look at this person, it's alone. Like, oh, look at this guy, he's not drinking. Like, it's like everything that should be good, it's like, no. Like, a lot of guys should go alone instead of bringing a date. Like, so I remember how many times, like, when I was young, I went to a restaurant with girls that I didn't even care. And not only you have to pay for them, but you have to spend time with them at the restaurant. And you're like, fuck, I wish like she wasn't there or whatever. And then you just want to have sex. And then it's like, how miserable is that? Like, it's like, that's when I was like, fuck, why am I doing that? Like, why am I putting myself in those situations? Like, and it's because you're not spending enough time alone. So it's like, you don't really look at why you're doing all those behavior. And I believe that people should spend more time alone. Like, self-reflecting, treating themselves, go to the beach alone, go to a park alone, go on a hike alone, like do things like, and maybe question your mind, like, and self-reflection. And yeah, it's okay to go with friends, it's okay to share those moments, but it's okay to go alone too.
I remember the first time I went to a restaurant alone, how the reflection, self-reflection or self-discussion conversation I had in my mind before that was, if I don't see myself as important enough to go to a restaurant and I need someone else to validate me going to a restaurant, then like, that's not the type of self-perception I want. I want to see myself as, I can go to Nobu alone. I can go to this place alone. I don't need take this guy, take this person. I can go alone because I see myself as, I don't need someone else to go to this place. I'm fine going alone.
Yeah, people are never really alone too. It's like they go, they do those things, they're on their cell phone, they're on a hike, they're on their cell phone. You go to the bathroom, you're on your cell phone. You eat, you're on your cell phone. It's like people really hate themselves that much that they really can't be a single moment in the day alone. Like, it's like scrolling all the time, like distracting their mind. Like, that's how bad you hate yourself. Like, it's sad.
I dislike my phone so much. Like the only reason why I'm even using a phone is just because I do work on it and I make money from it. But apart from that, I remember I was talking to my mom a few months ago about it, and I was saying, if I go to like this mountain Europe countryside, just grass, mountains, no technology, nothing, like that oasis to me, because I hate anytime my phone vibrates, because it's always on do not disturb. Anytime it just vibrates with a Slack notification or an email or something, I just hate.
Yeah, it's part of the work, especially if you do social media and all that stuff. And now it's like there's 100 apps. Like, sometimes it's like, I wish I lived in 1990 before they have all those phones and stuff. But it is convenient. It is helping society. The thing is, you can't let it dictate your life. Like, that a lot of people are being run by their phone instead of using it as a tool. So yeah, you just gotta dedicate time. It's like, if you work, not have it there unless you work on it. I try to not scroll for no reason. If I'll scroll, it's because I'm looking for a video or looking for ideas or studying something, or yeah, just gotta be mindful with all those things.
I don't even have social media apps on my phone. When I was messaging you, I was just open Safari, Instagram.com.
Yeah, I think it's good. I make money with it, like, so I have to be on it. But yeah, like you said, if I had a choice for 100 million not to have social media, I would do it. Like, if I didn't need money from it, yeah.
Because I make money from Twitter. That's where I get a lot of lead funnels. But I remember, and I deleted Instagram off my phone, not into Instagram.com, because that I can still post from the website. I can still do stories and do whatever from the website. So I didn't need the app. The app was I just felt it was a distraction. But then Twitter, because I don't make anything from Instagram, but Twitter I make money from. So I was really hesitant on that. But it was 2 weeks ago. I decided, look, if I need to post something, if I need to DM anyone, if I need to do anything, I can still do it on the website. I can still do it on my laptop. And I deleted that, and I felt a lot, I don't know if it's calmer, but just more relaxed, in the sense that I feel the less technology I have around me, the more calm I feel, in the sense that I just don't really like technology, as I said, the Oasis thing. And just getting closer and closer to that, just...
Yeah, it's a way of living. Like, I think everybody should have a day that they unplug. Like, if you don't want to touch your phone on the Sunday. Like, we're all like kind of like on technology. We do those podcasts on technology. You're being on the computer all the time. You're being on your phone all the time. So also make sure you take some day that you're in nature or away from technology. Yeah.
What do you do to handle that?
I mean, so I have a lake behind my house, so sometimes I'll just stay outside and just look at the lake and just enjoy and just breathe and just sun gaze. So I do a lot of that, like walk outside. Like, I walk like almost twice a day with my dog for 10, 20 minutes each time. And I just unplug, like we wake up. And when I wake up, I always go outside first thing. So it's like I take my dog out in the yard and then they go pee and it's morning and then I just sun gaze and then I just stay there without my phone. I don't touch my phone for the first part of the day, like for an hour. So I didn't touch my phone yet today. Like it's next to me. I just, but I didn't go on it. I didn't do anything on it. It's like, if there's an emergency, it's there. But like, until I need to be on it, I won't be on it. So that's how I manage, like, because it's an addiction for anybody. It used to be an addiction. It's like you're addicted to the next notification. Like there's a movie on social media that is very, I think it's Social Experiment. I don't remember exactly, but there's a movie that they know that it's triggering some part of your brain that is addictive, and that's why they do it like that. That's why they make it that you have to post every day, that you have to do things every day, that you have... So even the people that work on it, you have to be on it every day because the algorithm wants you on it every day. So it's just like, it's kind of like a double-edged blade. Like, make sure like that you're careful with it.
You mentioned in a video of yours, well, actually, no, you mentioned in a podcast about operating at higher frequencies and how if you can increase the natural base frequency that you operate at, even things like alcohol, smoking can become lows because they're just lower than your base frequency. I find that really interesting, and it reminded me about I think a podcast or a study by Andrew Huberman, where he was talking about cold showers and average dopamine levels and how having cold showers and taking cold showers and ice baths do increase your natural dopamine rate. And so you can lift that bar on what frequency you operate at. And I just found that really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't invent that. It's the book Power versus Force. I have it here. It's David Hawkins. He's dead now, unfortunately, but he wrote a lot of good book, and he's the guy that invented muscle testing. So if you guys ever been to a muscle testing, that they you can test muscle testing for food allergy, for muscle, for anything. Like, it's basically asking consciousness to answer the question through someone and their muscle. And he also invented the scale of consciousness. So basically it's from 0 to 1,000 being like enlightenment. I think enlightenment on the scale start at 700. Then you have love, gratitude, acceptance, and all those up to angers, jealousy, and all the thing at the bottom. In order to be in the positive, you need to be 200 and higher. Alcohol vibrates at like 350, like, because it's kind of it puts your mind into things are not so, like, when you're on drug or you're on alcohol, it's like nothing really matters. You're kind of in the acceptance. Like, you say things how they are, things are funny. You're like, so that's kind of the level of 350. And it's like, a lot of people are vibrating lower because they're jealous, they're angry, they're sad, they're like, whatever the emotion that you can think, it's on the lower scale of the frequency. But if you start living your life out of love is like, I think 500 or 600, and then there's gratitude and all that stuff. I don't remember the exact scale by heart, but the higher you can raise, and you're not going to be there all the time, all day. Like, I'm not God, I'm a human. I'm a soul living a human experience. So of course, we're here to learn. So the goal is to try to be as high as you can most of the day. So most of the time you want to be in those high frequency emotions. So there's so many study, like Japanese study, talking to water. There's talking to your rice. So telling your rice that you love it. And then one rice you don't talk to it. And one rice you say that you hate it. And just the power of the word, the rice that you say you hate it is starting to be rotten. The one that is ignored is completely rotten. And the one that you say I love you is like flourishing. So there's so many studies and stuff that prove the impact of word and the impact of emotion on the body. So obviously a happiness is not like a diploma. You don't graduate from happiness. You're not like, oh, I got it and I keep it for the rest of my life. It's like happiness is basically when you have those three things that I mentioned, the 3P, to me, you're kind of living most of the time in a happy life. If you have purpose in your life, if you have passion, and if you have profit, because without money, obviously, you can't really be happy in terms of like you have needs. And you can only ascend on the pyramid of Maslow when you meet those needs. So let's not fool ourselves. We live in that society right now. It's sad, but we do live in it, that you need to meet your basic need. But once this is done, yeah, you want the rest of the time live in those emotions of love, of gratitude, of empathy. And it all comes down to reminding yourself that everything is a perception and a reflection of your internal. So, yeah, I would say always try to find what's good about a certain situation, and it's taking a habit to do so. So if you're stuck in the car, maybe be like, well, maybe it's a time for me to listen to a podcast, to do something like, and then it's called habit stacking. You start to do things. So let's say you're like, I want to go on a walk. I want to do this. I want to, like, whatever you want to do, try to have those beautiful thoughts. Like if it starts to rain, rain is beautiful. Like we need rain. Like why are you complaining about it? Like, so I used to be negative, and then it lower your vibration in terms of like, because you're always thinking in those negative pattern, it will affect your being for sure. No other way. And then when you start thinking in a elevated emotion, you will raise your vibration. It's just you'll be happier in general because it doesn't matter. It's not important. It's like, it's okay. And then the more I study the human, the more I study the brain, the more I can also understand perception and understand that, like, don't take things personally. That's one of the 4 agreements. And it's like everybody behaves a certain way because their subconscious tells them to. Like, and then one thing that Tony Robbins says is the way that you use your word to describe events in your life will also dictate their impact. So if a friend lied to you, like, what is the situation? A friend lied to you. That's the real situation. He stabbed me in the back. Did he really? Did he take a knife and stab you in the back? No. Then why are you fucking doing that metaphor? Like, but because you metaphor it like that, you have those emotions that are linked of being stabbed in the back, and all the it's like we dramatize everything. He lied to you. Okay. Can we try to understand maybe why there was a lie? Maybe the person is ashamed of something. Maybe I don't say that it's pleasant to be lied to. It's like, but when you start to try to understand a little bit more and try to be compassionate and all those emotions that are higher in the scale, it will impact. So try to live your life on the higher spectrum of those emotions, and yes, you'll rise your frequency.
There's a quote by Alex Hormoz that I really like. It says, you can't be angry at someone and understand them at the same time. And that's really helped me when it comes to just not getting angry. Like if I feel angry or hatred or, whatever, I just tell myself, you just don't understand what's going on their side. And that's why you feel this way. That's why you're thinking this way. If you feel someone's attacking you, annoying you, disturbing you, you just don't understand what's going on their side. And that's really, really helped me.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it is trying to be compassionate and understand why people are doing what they're doing. And somebody could be yelling on you right now and you're like, what the fuck? It's not fun to be yelled on. But What if that person just got told by the doctor that he's dying and he has 3 months to live, and then he's just fucking lashing out on you for no reason, and you're like, I did nothing. It doesn't excuse the action, but like you said, if someone yell on me and I'm like, wait a minute, and then I understand and I'm like, I hit the person, right? I punch him in the face. Then I'm like, oh, I was justified. He was yelling on me. He was being an asshole. I punched him. Okay, cool. And then what if the person with him is like, hey, I'm sorry for his behavior. He just got told that he's dying in 3 weeks. He has cancer, terminal phase 4, whatever. And then you're like, fuck, I feel like an asshole. That's how human are. Like, now I'm putting a situation so you can understand, but on a daily basis, it's like sometimes the guy in traffic will be rushed, will honk on you, and like, maybe he got cheated on by his wife this morning, and now he's rushing to work, and he's not feeling good, and he's angry at the world, and he's like, so everybody's living emotion at every time of the day, and it's like, it doesn't make their action right. It doesn't say, oh, it's okay to behave like that, but it's just, like you said, if you try to always understand what's going on and try to see what, maybe there's something, you know what I mean? And it's not, I don't behave like that every day. Like someday I'm frustrated too. Like everybody has those days, like everybody has those moments. So the goal in life is most of the time, do it. It's like everything, for food, for everything. It's like, try to be that person most of the time, and it will help in your life.
There's a last principle that I really like regarding circle of control, and I won't try to explain it. If you don't understand, or just let me know, because I'm still working on how to explain this. Every event that we see is just an event with no meaning. All the meaning exists purely within our mind. We give meaning. And so all events are events. If there's a car crash, there's a car crash. That's it. If someone got diagnosed with cancer, they got diagnosed with cancer. That's it. No meaning, no implication. If this happened, if that happened, if anything happened, you link the emotion, you link the meaning, you determine what that means. And that happens in your mind, which is part of you, which is part of your circle of control. So ultimately, every event that happens is within your circle of control.
Yeah, you don't experience reality. You experience your reality through your eyes. So I'll give you so I totally understand this, because it's one of the things that also Tony teach, and a lot of other a lot of other people would teach. It's like, let's take a reality that's happening right now in the world. Palestine versus Israel, right? Right now, if you're a Jewish person, or if you have family there, oh, it's so important for you. Like, you want everybody on Instagram to talk about it. I received DM, you should talk about this situation, you should do this. They post story, how like, they care about it. Imagine being a Jewish right now. Imagine this. Okay, that's good. What about the kids that are in the diamond mines that are being slaved and killed every day in Africa? What about the Ukraine war and the Russia, and the people were dying? I didn't see you post about it. Like, now it only has a meaning because it's attached to you. And that's what people do. They only care when it's to them. What about the 800,000 kids that disappear and being murdered every year in the United States? We don't talk about that. You don't care until it affects you personally. And that's how human beings are, because they have an emotion linked inside of them to the event. And then the rest of the world is looking at it, and they don't care. Like, it's a genocide that kids are dying. It's every war has consequences and stuff, but it's like the people that have an emotion linked to it, and that's what you're explaining, are way more involved, and they care, and they push everybody, and now they're mad that nobody. It's like if your mom died, it's an event for me, but if your mom died for you, it's very painful, because you have emotion, you link something. So yeah, you have to remember, at the end of the day, that there's nothing good or bad, and that every situation has something positive and something negative that will come out of it. Like, and it's to try not to attach too much emotion to everything, and to try to look like, how does this help, or how does this relate? Or yeah, there's only meaning when you attach an emotion to things. So yeah, I totally understand this thing. It's like, I try to always look like in the world. So let's say today I would say, oh, Israeli is in the wrong, then Israeli hate me. And all the Jewish people, they hate me. If I say Palestine is in the wrong, then all the Palestine hate me. You know what I mean? Like, every situation has good or bad. Every situation has emotion on both sides of the spectrum. So it's like, it's just try to live your life thinking like that everything is attached to emotion and our perception of the thing. So right now, Israeli and their perception, Palestine is wrong and this and that. And it's possible. I don't know what's the deal, you know what I mean? And in Palestine eyes, Israeli is the invader and this and that. But it's like, who's right, who's wrong? It's, you know what I mean? Like, it's really hard to be like, and then they could say like, oh, like, I don't know the conflict, but they could say like, oh, we had that land before. Yeah, what about the American? Okay, you want to, let's say that before the land used to be Israeli and now it's Palestine. Good, Israelis say it was our land. What about the native people? America stole our land. Now you're living in America and you don't give a fuck that you live on a stolen land. Like, they came, they killed everyone, they pushed everyone out, and all the native people has been pushed out and murdered. But now what if they want their land back? Would you give it to them? Nah, bro, this is America. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but you don't care to live in their land, and that they're the minority and that they get nothing. But now you care because it's you. You know, it's all those things that sometimes I look at human being and I'm just like, now I understand just how people think and how they are. So that's why I don't blame them. I'm not like, oh, this guy is stupid or this or that. I'm looking at it and I'm like, that's exactly why this person is reacting, and that's exactly why this person is reacting. It's because they have a meaning and an emotion attached to an event. But when it doesn't concern them or their emotion, human beings are very selfish nowadays. We're not born to be like that, but we are. Like, it's like, you see all those video kid being kidnapped next to someone and they don't do nothing. But bro, I can tell you, you kidnap a kid next to me, bro, you're not gonna like it. Like that's the thing. And because in my value, bro, I'll die for it. Like, you don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, but people in their value, they're like, oh, I mind my business, I do things, you know, like, the world has become what it is because of people value, belief, and all those things. So you just I choose to not be that person in that world. I choose to not participate.
Mike, we'd like to end this podcast by getting the audience, as well as the last guest, to ask a question to the next guest without knowing who that next guest will be. So the question from the audience is, what are 3 non-negotiable principles that you hold?
I would say always do your best. So that's a principle for me in terms of like, whatever the day is, your best is going to be different. But always do your best. Like, yesterday for me was not the best day. Like, there was a lot of thing that I wanted to think about, to meditate on. I wanted to see what's the next move on the table, like, and plan my future move and stuff. So of course it was not a day that I'm going to be 100% invested in work and doing a lot of things. And then I did a self-care bath, and then I passed out at 7:30 and I woke up at 10 in the morning. So obviously my body was in shock and in transition, and with everything that happened emotionally, it's just like I needed a break. So I did my best for that day, you know? And we all have those days. So that's one of the principles that I live my life by. It's like, do your best every day. The second one would be honesty. Like, be a good person. Like, if you can do something good, do it. And do it when people are not watching. You know, like, say thank you to people, open doors. Like, if you can, it's like if there's a pregnant woman, give her your seat. It's um, like different things in life that you should do. You know, like somebody drops something, pick it up, give it to them. Like I found cell phone, I found different thing, and I'm just calling. Like there's a way, like most of people, their phone is not like, oh, I don't know how to contact the person. The cell phone is blocked. Like, are you like you stupid or you trying not to do it? Like you say, hey Siri, and now both of my phone are gonna react. But and then you say, I had to turn them off. Like call mom or call wifey or call dad or whatever. You try 2-3 things, and then that's how I gave back a phone. It's like, and how good it feels to get back your phone, all your memory. It's not for the $1,000 of the phone. It's everything that's on it. Everybody know how annoying it is to set up a new phone. So if you can do something good, if you find a wallet, I gave back a wallet with money in it, and the guy was like, "Oh, you calling?" Because the thing is, you can call the cops, or you can call and there's the address, and you say, "Hey, this person," and they can go deliver the wallet to the person. Because or you can go yourself. Like once I had the wallet, I saw the address, I went. Like that's the right thing to do. And if you can do the right thing, do it. Like giving you an example, last month I received 6 pair of brand new Nike at my house, right? They're not mine. So we receive a lot of package. So I don't even check the name. I open the package. I'm like, babe, did you order Nike? She's like, no. Bro, 6 brand new pair of Nike. Like for probably $1,000. It was different Nike, some rare one, whatever. I'm like, so, okay, so who's those Nike? You know what I mean? So I closed the box. I called Nike. I took 20 minutes out of my day. I called Nike. I'm like, hey, like I received those shoes. This is my address on it. I can't see the phone number. Like, can you give me the phone number for me to reach that person? And then finally I found the phone number on the thing. And then they were like, no, the person did put your address. I'm like, okay, so, but it was one of my neighbor. And then I found the girl and I gave her the shoes. But like, I could have kept the shoes. They were nice. My girlfriend would love 6 new pair of shoes. But the thing is, like, if you can do so, and the girl would have had her shoes. Like Nike would have sent new shoes. It's no problem. Like if they didn't receive them, they dropped it at the wrong address. But whenever you can be a good person in this world, be a good person. And I would say like the third one for me is like just a principle of like helping the world, like helping as much as I can. Like in terms of my purpose and my mission is to help people to be better human, to understand themselves, to do something good, either with social media, either with, I feel like we lost ourselves, like the new trend on TikTok being an NPC, like all those things. It's like, bro, like I look at human and I'm like, I don't see like, I don't know where the world is going, and what people are doing for money is terrible. So I'm trying to be every day a guy that doesn't do those things for money. Like, obviously, when I coach, there's a fee for it. Whatever I do, there's a money fee, because when you pay attention. When you get things for free, there's no exchange of energy. The same thing as your body, you trash it because you didn't pay for it. You don't value it. So when I gave thing away and when I try to help people for free, they're not doing it. But when they take their hard invested money and they give it, they're like, okay, I'm ready to change, Mike. Take it and coach me and teach me. And then people that involve because they sacrifice something, that they put time for that money, and then they're going to do what they need to do. And I'm trying to be that human that's my purpose. It's like I saw when I was 19, Tony Robbins do it, and I was like, I want some of that. I want to be that guy. Like, this guy changed my life right now. I want to change people's life. And I did it for so many clients that, like I said, we review your belief system, your value, your needs, all that thing. And I feel good doing it. Like, that's like one of my principles is, if you're going to take money, because we all need money, do something good. Like with the action, like try to build the world instead of destroying it. Like try to do something good for the world. There was one book I remember, it was the best guy in the 1900s. from 19 to 2000. There was a guy who was the best marketer. He's the guy that made everybody smoke, that told the doctor it was good to smoke, that made the athlete smoke. He popularized Coca-Cola, all those things. And on his deathbed, he was like, I wish that I used my gift for the good instead of for the bad. Because everything that he promoted was the big corporation that were giving big dollar and big money. And he promoted all those trash, like the milk, the cigarette, the Coke, the like everything that was bad for the human being. And it's also a principle of life. If you're willing to do anything for money, then you lost yourself. And a lot of people are doing that. It's like, if I create a supplement brand, which I'm doing right now, it's going to be the best fucking supplement possible. I'm not going to try to make so much profit on people giving them trash supplement. If I create a brand, a clothing brand, it's going to be with good material. Like, I'm going to make sure that I can find the best. I'm not going to try to cut corners just to do, like, a lot of people are like, why don't you drop shipping clothes? Because, bro, it's trash. Like, why would I do that? If I want to make something, that's one of my principles. If I make something, I want it to be good. I want people that they feel that they have value when they buy it. Because there's no, I buy clothes that are good, not necessarily crazy pricey. Like Alpha Lead is a very good brand for fitness, like $30-$40 for a shirt, but he puts time and quality in the shirt. And when I buy something and its quality, I appreciate the person and the brand that did it. And I want that. That's one of my purpose and my mission and my principle is to always try to provide maximum value. We all want to make money, but you can make money doing anything in life. So why not doing something good? And I was laughing with one of my friends because all this company, no, one of them is doing good, but all the rest is like parking ticket, towing, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like laughing. I'm like, bro, it's like you always go to things that are making money, but you're not helping. Like everybody hates receiving ticket. Like it's like all those things. Yeah, people always say it needs to be done. Yeah, okay. Like I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean? Like I worked for a towing company when I was young and I saw people, bro, it's fucking annoying. Like people get towed and they mad and you're like participating in that shit and you're like, fuck. I'm not bashing on people that work in those companies right now. I'm just saying that's one of my principles. Like I choose to do something good. And if I can, I'll make money the right way. Like try evolving the planet.
Question for you from the last guest. How did you go from employee to entrepreneur?
So first thing, guys, like there's a big popularity for entrepreneur, influencer, and being on your own. Like you have to know if it's for you. It's not for everybody to deal with all the stress and all that stuff. You can be one of the book I'm reading right now. It's a really, really good book. It's Your Next 5 Move by Patrick Bet-David. And he says that a lot of people are actually making money being entrepreneur. Like Google let you work 20% of your day on your stuff, and there's way less risk, and there's almost the same up than being an entrepreneur. And you can also work for a company and make a lot of money doing investment on the side and stuff. So if you decide that you want to be an entrepreneur or doing things, basically what I would advise is first, like when I started my influencer journey and entrepreneur career, I worked for a company. I was working at the bank, and then I went and I did that thing at the same time on the side. It's just a question of priority. So if you really want it, if it's a compelling mission for you, you're going to be able to do both. If you say, I don't have time, it's tiring, this and that, it's because you don't want it enough. So the first thing, I wouldn't say drop everything and stress yourself and not have food and live on couches. And like, you can have a job and you can do it on the side. You can also have a job and work for free, or find, like, let's say Anwar is looking at me and he's like, I really like what Mike is doing. I would love to have more of his teaching. I want to work with him. I want to work in the company. Like Alex Hormozi preached that. Gary Vee preached that. It's like he could work with me for free at the beginning, prove his worth, his value. Let's say he's doing editing, he's doing whatever, and then grow. And then a lot of people want to be paid right away. If I could go back, I would probably maybe goes to a guy like Patrick Bet-David and work for free for him while I work somewhere else, but work for free for 3-4 hours and get some knowledge and be in proximity. Like Tony Robbins says, proximity is power. So those people can teach you stuff that they learn. So you can start your journey like that. Like at the moment, maybe Anwar doesn't have 5, 10, 20,000 to pay mentor, like that did something that he wants to do. So that's a way to get the knowledge for free. You know what I mean? Like, hey, Mike, I work for free for you and I want you to coach me in the meantime. Like there's exchange like that. So my first thing would be find what you want to do as an entrepreneur, see if someone has done it, because that's always a shortcut. I believe in mentor. Like, why would I do all the mistakes if I can get someone that already done all the mistake and can teach me what's working, and then I can tweak it to my own? So that's number one. And then don't stress yourself. You keep your job, do something until you're ready to make the move. And that's how I did it. Well, at first I didn't really do it like that. I left the bank and then I went bankrupt, try to make it, and I was stressed. And then I found a way to really start having money as an influencer. And it took me like 2 years of struggle. And like, it was not like the most fun journey, but for me, I was ready to do it. It taught me a lot, but I would not advise this path. Like, I would say, find what you want to do. If it's really meaningful to you, and then while you're at your specific job, start working on the side on that project and dedicate time to it. And then when you're ready, do the transition. So when I say you're ready, it's like either you have the same income, you replace your income, or let's say you're making $100,000 at your job, and then the side hustle makes 60 and you're okay with 60. Like you're like, I can reduce my cost of living, but I want to invest more time on that 60 because it's going to quickly become more after. That's a way to do it. Like if you're ready to downgrade your life right now for the future goal, yeah. But at first, I don't say that it would be good to stress yourself and drop everything to become an entrepreneur. You can do it if you want. You're going to learn a lot, but not the most fun and pleasant journey. So yeah, I would say there's people that have done what you want to do. Like, start there. Like, learn, have them as mentor, read their book, whatever you want to do. Just start following the path.
I remember there was a time last month I was giving a talk on just business and things, and there was a girl that asked me, "What if you don't like?" I think the question was, "What if you don't like doing business?" And I answered her and I said, "If you don't like doing business, just don't do business."
Yeah.
That's simple. Like, if you don't have a passion for it, because at least the way I operate business-wise is I look at long-term and I care about 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. And so if it's not something that I have the passion for, I have the fuel for, it's not even something that I want to start doing. And so I told her, look, if you don't want to do business, don't do business.
Exactly. Yeah, you need the 3P, the purpose, passion, and profit for the long-term vision. And a lot of people don't see the long-term vision. A lot of people want cash now. They want profit now. They're in love with the idea of money and the idea of entrepreneurship and the idea of freedom. But you need to ask yourself the right question.
Yeah, and I feel, especially with social media now, a lot of people are driven into business. A lot of people who don't exactly like business, don't exactly want to do business, are driven into feeling, business is the way to go. Business is what you need to do. You need to get into business. You need to be an entrepreneur. When honestly, if you don't like entrepreneurship, if you don't like business, don't do business.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's not for everyone. So it's just asking yourself the right question. What do you want? What's the goal? And are you going to like the journey or just like the idea of the goal?
Mike, I really appreciate your time. I enjoyed this conversation. Not sure if you did, but I learned a lot and I really appreciate having you. And it was fantastic. What can the people watching expect next?
I mean, I'm just going to double down on the purpose, helping people, conference retreats. My book is launching soon, so there's a few things, but it's always with the same vision of doing my best to be this force in the world that will make things better. And either that it's helping with social media, teaching how to have your purpose, mindset, business. It's always in the goal of becoming that best version of yourself.
Where can the people watching find you?
So Mike Chabot on almost every platform. Mike Chabot Fitness for Instagram. Trying to change the name, but it's a little complicated right now with IG. So Mike Chabot, you can find me. If you just type my name on Google, you'll find everything. And the brand right now is Road to Abundance. And for the social media one is Scale Social. So I'm building that right now. So you guys can just DM me if you have any question and we can go from there.